folks, welcome back to Game Geeks. I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Today's episode is a pair of products from Chaosium for the Call of Cthulhu roleplay game. And these two products are very tightly thematically linked. So I figure it was very well worth doing both of these together. They are H.P. Lovecraft's Arkham and Arkham Now, both for Call of Cthulhu, and guess where these are set? And it's not New Orleans. Ladies and gentlemen, Arkham is sort of the fictional city in which H.P. Lovecraft set a lot of his stories. It was loosely based on Salem. It is a small town set in, at the time, sort of away from major cities in Massachusetts. We'll get to that with Arkham Now. And dealt with a city that was haunted by legends, witch cults, a lot of mystery in its past. So let's start with the original and larger book, H.P. Lovecraft's Arkham. This is a very well-developed city or town, depending on your point of view, setting for the Call of Cthulhu game. What it gives you is a really nice map of the entire town and information, background, history, etc., for using that city. Each region of the town gets its own city or sort of subdivision or town name: North Side, Downtown, East Town, Campus, French Hill, etc. The book then goes into a lot of detail for each one of those areas. Now, being a college professor, my interest is, of course, has always been in Miskatonic University. Go all the way back in the Game Geeks Classics. That was one of the first 10 episodes we reviewed. So it gives you some information on Miskatonic as it applies to Arkham as a whole. If you're interested in more about the college in particular, go get the other product, Miskatonic University. Great book for a fictional campus where you can have a lot of fun. So each area gets its own description. There's a submap for each one that sort of gives you interesting stuff in each area. For example, for Northside Section A, there is an entry on Potter's Field, sort of information about it and what sort of critters you could run into. The pump house and the water tower. You can learn about Labian Shrewsbury, who is a fictional H.P. Lovecraft character, the Masonic lodges there, etc. So it gives you a lot of detail and a lot of interesting plot hooks and ideas for use in each individual area. Then it gives you various adventures in the back that you can use in Arkham per se. You've got the books of Uncle Silas, and again, I don't like to review adventures that much because I don't want to give a whole lot away, but it is a fairly standard Cthulhu adventure contained therein. Hills Rise Wild, and then my personal favorite that I've actually been looking for a long time. I played this with my GM, Sean Molly. So Sean, if you're watching this, here's your shout out. When I was an undergrad at Western Kentucky University, and I've been looking for this adventure since then. It's called The Condemned, and it's one of the best adventures I've ever played in for ramping up the stress and building in the menace and what exactly is going on in this adventure. Finally, there is a pull-out poster map of Arkham itself, and the very front of the book contains Dreams in the Witch House, which is one of Lovecraft's more famous stories that deal specifically with Arkham and its history. Now, Arkham Now, shifting gears to the other book, updates the legend-haunted town to modern times. So this deals with, you could set this in it's specifically dealt with in the mid to late 2000s, which is the time of its publication. This book does not require H.P. Lovecraft's Arkham, although I present to you that it really would help if you had it, but it doesn't specifically require it. You get roughly the same map, updated for new areas, and a lot of the threats that have continued from that era into now, or new threats that have worked their way in. One of the things you'll notice is that there's not much rural Massachusetts on the seaboard anymore. Most of it has now become part of this larger urban setting that Boston has sort of engulfed. So a lot of it is losing the small town feel that Arkham had and dealing with what has happened in that area, what has happened in the meantime. So you get a large group of new NPCs, and if your players are paying very close attention, There might be some old ones that are still around from the 20s. And again, being what my occupation is, I'm particularly interested in what happened into Miskatonic University in that time, and it gives you some ideas on how to update Miskatonic for the modern era. What do you get with these two books? A lot of good stuff for Call of Cthulhu. If you want to play in the area that Lovecraft made famous in either the 1920s or the modern era, or maybe try to build a campaign that bridges the two together, this is a great way to go about doing it. For Game Geeks, I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Good day and good gaming. Do, 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 do.